Hello and good evening. Medical records released by the family of Thomas Eric Duncan are giving us all a much more detailed look at the care he got. One detail we just learned is there were 70 hospital staff members involved in trying to save his life.
Now, one of those workers is Nina Pham, a nurse who contracted Ebola. She is now hospitalized. She's in isolation. The CDC has ordered a review of protocols now at all U.S. hospitals. First tonight on Fox 4 News at 6, Sean Rabb with how the CDC is trying to track down more medical personnel now at Texas Health Presbyterian. Sean.
Well, Heather, Steve, this latest information that we're learning through the Associated Press helps us understand why there's so much concern from Dr. Thomas Frieden and the folks at the Centers for Disease Control to expand this monitoring. You know, when all this started, Texas Health Presbyterian promised transparency, but we're not getting it from them. We're getting that from other sources. The medical records, again, of Thomas Eric Duncan reveal, as you said, Steve, that some 70 medical personnel here gave medical attention to Thomas Eric Duncan. Nina Pham, the nurse now sick with Ebola, as you take a look at her pictures, one of the 70 people who took blood, who analyzed urine, who performed kidney dialysis, who intubated him with tubes down his throat, wiped his lips, cleaned his diarrhea. Those folks, some 70 of those. And that is the great concern right now from the Centers for Disease Control, because if one healthcare worker got sick and no one knows how, with so many attending to him, it's possible someone else could also be infected. And that is the concern right now, which is why these disease detectives are on the ground here, and they're talking to all 70 of these people. When did you treat it? What kind of treatment did you provide? And what day during his sickness was that? Because the longer a person is sick, the sicker they are, the stronger the virus rages and more contagious that person becomes. Here's what the CDC had to say today.
We've had one case and hope we have no additional cases among healthcare workers who cared for him, but that one case does tell us that there were risks to that individual and potentially to others, so we're intensively monitoring that so that we can break the chain of transmission there, and we're assessing what more we can do, what more we all can do to improve the care of people with Ebola, so that we can not only stop it at the source, but also reduce the risk to any healthcare workers going forward.
Right now, though, they've got to identify all the healthcare workers, talk to them, try to put them in classes to determine, classes or groups, if you will, to determine who potentially had the most exposure at the most dangerous times to Thomas Eric Duncan. The CDC says we know how to stop this, how to break this chain, and that is to monitor those folk, find someone when they begin to present with fever or symptoms, rapidly isolate them and start treatment. But first we've got to identify them, and that's what's happening now. Dr. Frieden also says today, don't be surprised. In fact, he said we expect that there could be additional cases among the healthcare workers here. And all of this, Steve, explains why there's so much concern and uncertainty by folk who work here.
Well, it's problematic, Sean. I know you don't have a copy of this in front of you, but I'm looking at this AP report. CDC, as you know, has said it has not established a firm number of healthcare workers who treated Mr. Duncan. This reporting says they don't even have this paperwork. The Associated Press has it, says the CDC doesn't have it, and the CDC is recorded as saying they don't dispute that. They don't dispute that they don't have it. So that's a problem, I think. All right, Sean Rabb, live at the hospital. Thank you.